Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Tennis Manager 24, episode 36. San Diego Open 500 level tournament. I accepted an invite for this one knowing that there was going to be good cash involved. And, well, I want to keep King's form up, but we also want to, make that money. And King, it's going to be a tough road. That wild card does put her in a favorable first round matchup against a qualifier. And then Quarterfinal, likely for the second round, is gonna most likely be a quick exit for us. But hey, 2 rounds should pay decently, right? Like 66,000 or about 34K for us. First round was barely a victory though, 7-5, 7-6. Plus 13 on the winners. The unforced errors, there was our problem. That's what kept our opponent in it, -8. And forced errors was only +2. Our second upgrade is complete now, so we've added 2 facilities. This really should start to make a dent. Only a dent, but make a dent in that monthly debt. Sure enough, it's Goff in the second round. This is not a major tournament for us. We're not going to play this one live, especially when it's only the second round. I expect us to lose. There's the tiniest chance that maybe we could win, but look at that web. I mean, our court coverage is very similar to Goff, and nothing else is. It said it's going to be a tough match, but we have better form. See how important form is? We just beat number 3 player, Corey Goff, and yeah, +9 on winners. Kept it super clean, +3 on unforced errors, and forced errors was a +1. How in the world did we manage to do this? Corey Goff apparently is in bad form right now. Well, it's definitely a different tournament from here with the number 1 seed out of it, knocked out by us in particular, but that doesn't mean anything's easy. We can't take anything for granted. We can still lose to any of these opponents if we don't play out of our minds as we did in the last round. Benchik ahead of us, 53rd ranked player, and then we're looking at a potential semifinal against 2 top 25s. We're looking at a final against, well, a 27th or a 5th if they get past their respective opponents, assuming that one of them will get on through towards the final. Balanced match, decent chance to advance. Pretty good opponent. Definitely not a great web, but a good return in backhand. And we're out. There you go. Beat the number 1 seed, lose to an unseeded player in the next match because reality is we're not quite at their level, but that form just gives us a chance, and the tactic that we play and that it plays to our strengths always gives us a chance, but the better player is going to come out on top more often than not, and we are not yet the better player. As much as we're getting closer to that, as much as we are not bad technically anymore, we've gotten to a decent point, 10s, 11s, some 12s, and then you add those +2s to it, makes it decent, right? But 13's still not top tier. -2 on winners. We were +1 on unforced errors, but the forced errors is where she got us, -10. But making it to the quarterfinals pays out absurdly well, 47K, and I would think a 500 level tournament quarterfinals appearance is something that King would be pretty dang pleased with. So I don't think we should be seeing any morale drop or form drop after that performance. And just like that, we also have a positive balance for the month. Meanwhile, Kayla Cross is also making it to yet another final. Cross has really found some form. Do we want to take over? No. Just let her be. She's won it. Cross. That's 2 tournament wins in a pretty short period of time. It is so nice to see somebody else on the team doing something. In this case, that still doesn't pay out significantly. It's only 8,000, 47% price share, very similar to what we have for Martina King, but it was just a much smaller tournament, much smaller tournament. Here comes another mandatory. It's the Miami Open 1,000 level, so that highest level. Sabalenka, of course, and all the big time players should be here. Yeah, Kruger, 11th rank, 11th seed. Galanina, 24-24. So all of the best players are here, and a lot of the first round has already been played. We're at the bottom end of the bracket. In fact, we're very much towards the bottom end of the bracket. Kruger, who had a first round bye, awaits the winner of our match. 44-46 matchup. It's Alexandra Ayala, the Filipina, and yeah, this is not an easy match at all. I've had Ayala on the squad in past seasons. Balanced match, but we do have better form. We don't want to make an early exit here. It'd be very nice to at least get that one win, and we squeeze out the one win. 6-3, 2-6, 6-4. That should be enough to help keep the form intact. We were plus 1 point overall, 50-50 split as the rounding off goes, plus 14 on the winners, minus 7 on the unforced errors, though really kind of still minimal. I mean, it was barely above that 10% threshold that we always want to try to stay under. The forced errors, minus 7. It was the winners that got us through this one. We've played decently against some top-ranked opponents, but I don't think we're at a stage where we're at a 50-50 chance of beating them yet. We have a chance. We have a chance against any player in the world now. We've seen that. We can now acknowledge that our competitiveness has reached that stage. But that doesn't mean we are anywhere near a 50-50 chance. And I think anything top 25 is still a less than 50-50 chance, significantly less the higher you go. So Kruger should be a tough match for us, but not impossible to come away with a win on this one. Balanced, better form could make the difference. So apparently we are that close, that possible to go through, and we have gone through. 6-4, 6-4. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we are getting closer to that. Plus 6 on the winners. Super clean, plus 10, while minus 4 on the forced errors. This is going to pay out really well getting to this third round. Nava losing in the round of 32 in his match. Barbara Krejcikova, 25th seed and rank. Not an easy match, but again, easier than Kruger, so definitely still a chance. So I'd say below 50%. Still should be realistic. I think anything, maybe top 50, we've got that 50-50 or better chance, but top 25, that's got to be 30-40% maybe. Difficult next round would be in the cards for us too. There's a lot of high-ranked opponents. In fact, we've really kind of lucked out. There's hardly anybody as low as the two of us in the round of 32, but we're already, it's a 1,000 level tournament. We're already at a point where this is going to pay 125k or roughly 60k if we go out here. So this is super successful, and we're still in March. We've already got a healthy positive balance, and it's about to just jack up to another level. Balanced, better form. Looking at the web, right, we're starting to pay a little more attention to where we're at with that, as you know, we're creeping up the rankings and getting there. Return forehand, backhand, very strong, but does have some weaknesses, in particular court coverage and consistency, which means this is somebody who's better than us in many respects, but our tactic plays perfectly against this opponent who's also in weak form. I think there's a real chance that we do get on. In fact, I think it's probably better than 50%. 7-5, 6-3, and we do move on. 55% of the points have been won. Total winners plus 13 on forced errors was level. Forced errors plus 1. So yeah, good solid performance. This is probably where we're gonna meet our end, though, as we go into another match against another Czech opponent, Vondrousova, number 5 in the world. You know, looking at that web, I don't see a number 5 player, but still very good and incredible returns. It's going to be hard to do anything with service to have any sort of advantage there. No real weaknesses, not great at net play, but definitely, you know, better than what our web looks like for all but literally one of these categories. So categorically it's a tough match, and we're going to have to deliver a great performance, and that does make sense. Not your typical top 5 player, but definitely your typical top 10 player. She has excellent form. Seems like that might be what's helping carry her, similar to what's helping carry us. So she's going to have +2s to all of that, meaning she's going to have, like a perfect return and very, very good in all the other areas. And so, yeah, this is probably the end of the road, but what a road it has been. I concede defeat, we still win. What is going on here? What is happening, folks? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. She had excellent form too. That should not have been a win. We squeaked it out. We lose the second set on the tiebreaker, but we squeak out the victories in the other two. -20 on winners, but a +10 on unforced errors and a +19 on the forced errors. It's the court coverage, right? No, she didn't have the weaker court coverage. That was the previous opponent, where I was going, oh yeah, we should win this one. That was as we match up really well. We didn't match up well here. I don't know how this happened. She was totally in control of the match, but she was making an absolute meal of things. She shot herself in the foot. Quarterfinal, Sabalenka and Osaka, potential semifinal matchups. 17 seed and 17 ranked Emma Navarro ahead of us. I think I already know. Yes, I have a scouting report on Navarro, and currently ranked 18th. She's dropped one spot from where she was. She's a 4-star with 5-star potential, 26 years of age right now. And I'm starting to see this is what a top 20 player looks like. This is what this kind of web. Now, looking at the web, right? Return, backhand are in the area where our court coverage is. Consistency is in the region where our court coverage is. But the forehand, the court coverage, the aggressiveness, and the serve are all just a little bit less. And then the net play, even weaker. We need to go compare our web here in just a second, just to see where we're at. Proper comparison. But mentally, her composure, killer instinct, and fighting spirit is a huge bonus compared to ours. Huge. But mentally otherwise, the 3 controllable ones, a little bit on the weaker side compared to us, definitely. 4 points, 5 points weaker. Physically, 15, 12, 15, 12, 14, 15, where we're at about 18s. So 3 to 4 points weaker. We definitely have an advantage. Mentally, I think, is just about a wash because she's got that healthy advantage on the composure, killer instinct, and fighting spirit. So that's about a wash, but we definitely are better physically. But technically, she's a ways ahead of us. I mean, what would this average be? A 15? Plenty of 17s in there, but 12s and 13s as well. So yeah, probably a 14, 15, where we are an 11. So she's about +3 compared to us. Much stronger technically, but we are much stronger physically, and we're pretty level mentally, meaning comparable. Oh, geez. Yeah, look at our web. It's not even remotely close. A lot of these come down to technical attributes. And so reality is it's not just 3 categories, right? It's not just technical, physical, mental. There is more to it, or at least in the web. And I tend to agree with the concept that there's a lot more to it with the technicals. I mean, for one thing, there's more than twice the number of attributes in the technical category as there are in the others. And they have so much to do with your game. Hence, that whole idea that I don't feel like we were yet at the level, at the ranking we are. But we seem to be holding pretty steady in the rankings all of a sudden. Right now that we've cracked the top 50, we've been in this mid better 40s range since the Australian Open anyway, so since January. So for the last couple of months, we seem to have kind of stabilized our ranking. And is that our proper ranking? Maybe. The technical weaknesses, though, that might not really be a wash compared to the physical stuff. But would we have the form? And we're talking about a 20 and a 20 and a 19 and a 20 and 18 and a 17. Like that's pretty dang good. And you know, we're just about there too. Here's that 14, 11, 15 for that comparison. It's good, but it's not quite as good. And you know, maybe we are a hair better than our opponent there, but yeah, we're definitely a 3.5-star player, where she's definitely a 4-star player. She should be the favorite. And this web is nowhere near what our opponent is. I mean, the court coverage is on par. The consistency is good. The net play is good, but we are so far below otherwise. The form should only carry us so far, and I think we've been really punching way above our weight so far this season. Tough match, requires a great performance. This should be the exit, right? Right? Not yet. Not. Martina King, you wonder kid, what are you up to? How are you doing this? I don't fathom how she's getting these wins again and again against the odds. That they are against the odds. It should not be like this. We should not be winning at this rate. Minus 11 on the winners, but we kept it clean. Plus 8. Plus 10. Are we late enough in this tournament that the stamina is starting to kick in and be a thing? I don't think so. March coming to an end. We're about to turn a big profit into the next month. I mean, look at that. Almost 100K in tournament winnings in March. There was no slam in March. Right? No slam. Just a couple thousand levels and a 500 level tournament, and one of those thousands isn't even done yet. Also, we'll see where we're at here in a second with the offset and the gain. Of course, one of the facilities just finished like 10 days ago. I don't know if you get a full dose of the income of it in the first month. I think it does count the days, so you're only getting a partial, but one of the facilities is done, so we at least should get an idea of where we're at. We were minus 60K. Is it going to be better than it is going to be on the right side of minus 50 now? Oh, look who it is. It's Sabalenka again in the semifinals. The number one player. Swiatek is with Andreeva in the other semifinal. It's not going to be easy, regardless of opponent, if we somehow get the better of Sabalenka this time around. It's a 1,000 level tournament, it's a semifinal, and it's a rematch with the number one player in the world. You better believe we are going to go ahead and play this one live. Our web, right? Our best is the court coverage, coming in almost at the line. Like her consistency, or her net play, or her serve, or her return, or her backhand. She's better in the forehand than our best attribute. Her aggressiveness is better than our best. Her weakest thing is court coverage, and it's better than our second best, by far. She's beat us the one time we played just recently, but it was a close match. She does have excellent form now. By the way, I haven't paid much attention to who wins what tournament when we don't win, because, you know, we're just climbing the rankings and it hasn't been significant yet, but we had a decent Australian Open. It looks like Sabalenka only went a round further. She went out in the round of 16, right? That was a round of 32 loss we had to her, I believe. It was. So she lost in the very next round after we had that very close 2-set tiebreak loss. But she does somehow have excellent form. It's been a couple months since then, so she's probably gone on and done some things of late. She's definitely won a lot of matches in a row here. She won a final in her last tournament. Okay, we definitely have a fatigue advantage with that perfect stamina that we have. There is absolutely no shortage of stamina for us. Where Sabalenka is pretty tired by this point of the tournament. It is the semifinal after all. She did get a first round bye, so she's played one less round than we have, but she apparently doesn't have the level of stamina that we have. And we're up 30 love on this first game. We are serving, of course. And last time we played, there was no break all the way through. 2 sets, serve held consistently, and it came down to tie breaks in each, and we're up 40 love in this first game. Ooh, double fault there. But we get the first game. That's a good start. We're not getting skunked here. I'm not worried about getting skunked anymore after the performance the first time, but we broke her immediately in game number 2 and then go and hold serve. So it was 3-1, now 4-1. Tremendous start, and we nearly push her to a break point again. But we're up 5 games too, 5-3. She's on the verge of breaking us. No, we fight back. We were down 15-40, and it's now advantage and set point. She's below that 50% threshold by the end of that first set. The lack of accuracy may have contributed. We've beaten Sabalenka in 1 set. Holy cow.
Second set.
I can't deny it anymore. We're good. The on paper, it still doesn't matter.
Love 15.
The question, it begs a question now, because the on paper, we shouldn't be winning most of the matches we played in this. I think one of the rounds, probably the first round too, so 2 of the rounds, and this is what, 6 rounds in? 2 of the rounds, we had a better than 50% chance to win, right?
15-40.
But now, in 4 other rounds of this tournament, we've been the underdog. And in at least 3 of them, we've been massive underdogs. And yet, we're winning. And yet, we're up 2 games love here in the second set so far. We've already managed to break her, like, game number 1. And it's, it was at least 30-30 before we go on and lose this 3rd game. She's above 50% right now, but she's about to drop below, and that clearly is something. And look at this. On fire? Like, I've never even seen on fire. All four mental states are at their maximum. I think that's literally the first. I really think that's the first time I've seen all 4. It's the first time I've seen on fire for a player. It explains a lot. It explains a lot about how we're playing so well. But outside of that one particular moment, and we definitely didn't start this match that way, we're just playing lights out against number 1 player in the world, and apparently stoked about it. 5 games 2, coming from behind, deuce, advantage, match point. Begs the question. I'll have to finish this question apparently after, because we just beat Sabalenka to make the final. Okay, that really begs the point, though. I feel like this has to be down to one of 2 things, because the on paper, this shouldn't be happening. And we're consistently doing this for a long time. We are winning a lot of matches that we shouldn't be winning. And yes, Martina King improves and improves and improves, and yet we keep succeeding. And form is important. Form is a big part of it. Big. Huge part of it. Probably the biggest piece, the biggest element. So don't get me wrong, this isn't suddenly about something else entirely. Just partially. Just a small piece. But one of 2 things has to be happening. Or at least I feel like it has to, right? This can't be some anomaly. This can't just be one tournament to where, woo, we're getting more wins. No, this has been happening from the very beginning of the series till now. So either 1, myself as manager, my min-max of my attributes in the setup, we've made everything ridiculously hard, but I have a 20 in management. Now, what that should be is my ability to motivate. That's what it says it is. That's what it's described as. So when I talk to my athlete, when I talk to King, I have a very strong chance of influencing her positively and helping her mental state. But I mean, come on, you've been watching the series. How many times do we actually play out a match live? Usually just finals. Here it was a semifinal because it's a 1,000 level tournament, and it's like, holy crap, we're going deep. We're going to play the final live too, but we didn't play the previous rounds, and yet we were still getting 3 surprise results before now a 4th surprise result. So I don't think that's it. Unless there's something under the hood more going on than what it's described as. It's not just about the mental state. There's beyond that something that makes our player play better. Because, yeah, year 4, right? We're already on year 5 now. Regardless, okay? Many seasons have gone by. Think about our teammates. We've had 3 teammates consistently. We've had Kayla Cross right now in form, winning a couple tournaments. That's been about it, right? The entirety of all these seasons, my teammates have won 5-6 tournaments total, and every last one of them, besides Kayla Cross right now, who's stable, every last one of the rest of them have seen their rank drop over time. And then we've gone and seen a couple of our former players either be stable in rank afterward or have their rank come back up. We've not been good for our teammates. So is my influence as the one who's individually coaching Martina King creating some sort of bonus? I'm not sure that that's it, though. I think it might be down to the second one. And I think that is a mechanic under the hood that somehow, as the player, gives me a slight advantage over the AI. Maybe? Or do we have a realistic 50-50 shot all the time? Do we have some sort of bonus in play? No idea. No idea if that is the piece, but it feels like there's got to be something. Like, even if it's a 2% boost, that 2% boost can make a massive difference long term. So this is kind of laughable because it looks like we are more in debt than we were. 65k lost. Wasn't it at like 61, 62 before? We're more in debt? Sure. Those winnings becoming even more important now. Speaking of, the winner takes $1 million. Million. That's almost $500,000 if we were to win. But we've got to go through. We just went through the number 1 player, but now we got to go through the number 2 player. We also just went through the number 3 player recently, and yeah, losing the final 660k. We're talking about like 320,000, give or take, and a crap ton of points. 650 points. We're going to go right on up those rankings now. Another clear situation of being the loser on paper. Not excellent form, but good form for Swiatek. Tough match. We do have a better form advantage. She has had a couple of 3-set matches, a number of 2-set matches, a couple of easier ones in the early rounds. So will she be tired? We are stressed for this final, and we are anxious. I did pick up the relaxation piece, but she's still showing up as troubled even after the speech. So even though we have a 20, it didn't work. But she is thrilled, so the emotion is carrying her at the moment. But we lose out on the first one, and look who is ridiculously tired, which is going to give us a chance. It's going to give us a chance. The stamina element, amazingly, has been huge for our progression, but, only in the later rounds. We shouldn't be in this final, right? We should have lost any one of those 4 before this. I do think we are good enough to win those occasionally, right? But to win all 4 of them. Just doesn't feel right. And the balancing of the game definitely had issues in past years. A couple of years back, it was definitely too easy, right? I ended a series early a couple of years ago because I found we were dominating when we shouldn't be dominating. They really did rebalance the game, though, last year, and hasn't been an issue. It's felt really well balanced, but I'm starting to question: is that balance actually really good, or is it not? I mean, my teammates, they seem to be having a hard time under our staff, but Martina King just unspeakable how much better she's doing than she should be doing.
Out. 40, 30.
I'm not buying our level of performance. But we've got a real shot in this one. Might be the number 2 player. But we've shown we can hang with top players and beat them in a fair fight. This one's not a fair fight. We have a real advantage. I mean, she's already down to under 25%. She's going to have a major penalty to her accuracy. She's still a better player than we are. She should still win this match. But I feel like I should almost give it a 50-50 odds with that fatigue. And, there's actually a very good chance that she's going to suffer some sort of minor injury with how tired she is. And that could give us a real advantage. Right now she's up 3-2 and serving. So she is in control of the match so far. It's 4-2. Well within our wheelhouse, but this, unlike the previous matches, is at least looking a little more accurate to what would be expected. 3-5. We got to win straights from here, at least the next couple. And with service, down love 30, battling back 15-30. Now 15-40, it's set point. That'll keep us in it for a little bit longer though, 30-40. We're definitely working her harder, but she goes and finds a winner anyway. That's the first set going down. We do still have a chance in this match, but I think the right player is coming out on top. It just doesn't feel right for us to be winning at this point, at this level. Already down 3 games. So, the right player coming out on top this time. Our luck is running out. Was it just luck? Or is there something? Is the balancing off just a little bit for the managed player? Right? If I take over, let's see. My other 3, like Emilio Nava, is kind of struggling, right? If I take over for him, I bet you before long I'd write his form. But would he do this? Right? Would he suddenly be a top 50 player? Because he's got decent attributes, right? He's got quality. He was inside the top 100. If we take over, is he suddenly a top 50 player? I think that would really answer my question on that one. We are battling back a little bit. It's 4-2 now. And she is, of course, quite tired, but no injuries. We had a break point, failed to secure it, and eventually she gets that 5th game and is now 1 game away from the title, a deserved title, but holy cow, what a run for us. And this is going to produce a huge boost in points and a huge boost in the finances. Like I said, I think we're headed for about 320k, which with the money we already have, we're talking about an instant facility upgrade. A little less than I expected, 310,000. I do think I dropped it by another 2%. Yeah, it was 49, now it's 47. So I have to adjust that math in my head just a little bit. But anyway, that brings us to 396,000 currently, and we already have a massive positive balance for this month by the 2nd of April. Next upgrade is going to be to the paddle courts. We're going to bring them to level 2. We're going to see a $14,000 increase, but a $5,000 increase in expenses. So it's going to bring us up by 9K per month estimated. Of course, it will translate to less than that, but it's actually not that expensive at $200,000. I'm going to hang on to this other cash right now. I am looking at this weight room. It does come with some various physical exercises, upper body strengthening, lower body strengthening, and strength work. All could be useful for the team. It is also plus 3,000 for a pretty low cost. You know what? Let's screw it. Let's do it. You get a double benefit for that, right? Make more money and have a long-term benefit for the team. Still over 100k, by the way. Does bring us into a negative balance for the month though, because we had about 150k before that. So we have some work to do to have a positive balance for April, but of course, in theory, we've easily done that already. For the moment anyway, we are still just a 2-star academy, still a star behind any other academy that's out there. We are definitely lower ranked than everybody else. We do have a 3-star team now in terms of our quality as a group. That's the average rating of our team. Scouting's at 2.5. The training facilities are at 2 stars, so it's really lagging behind. The medical's at 1.5. The business is at 2. But our talent zone in terms of potential is 5 stars territory. It looks like the medical and the business, and training. Like we're working on the training right now, right? We've got two upgrades coming in there. Maybe that'll boost us up a 0.5 star. And would that be enough to bring us up to 2.5 stars overall? Possibly. It might. I mean, looking at this 3-star one ahead of us, we're a 0.5 star, full star, star, but then we have a 1.5 star average better in the talent zone. So catching up to Boris Becker a little bit, getting within a 0.5 star because we get 0.5 star more. Yeah, I don't know if we're at that point yet, but maybe, because literally the only thing that's not even already 2 stars is just the medical zone, and there's only a couple at 2 stars. You take away one of those and put them all above it, might be enough. We're close. I think we're close. We might hit that 2.5 stars finally, fairly soon. Fairly soon. And if this year continues as is, right, we're 4 facility upgrades already in. April just started. If we can keep going, if we can keep getting good winnings from Martina King consistently, like we're taking off, which is just weird. Last year we had no upgrades at all. And now not only are we able to get upgrades again and like get back to woohoo, like we didn't even get a major bonus loan territory or anything like that. We just had a positive balance. we just had the regular board injection, and yet we are translating this into we're making money now, and it's coming down to the prize share, the prize money, Martina King's growth and success that others just weren't able to do for us. It's wild. We're going from like not making it to kind of barely making it to, oh, we're doing fantastic. Like, what happened to all that ground in between? We just flipped a switch. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, it all. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.